Martha, thank you. Another Fox News alert now. Saudi Arabia launching military airstrikes on its neighbor to the south, Yemen. General Jack Keane, four-star general, Fox News military analyst, chairman of the Institute for the Study of War. General, thank you for your time today. We've got a lot to get through in the next 3 minutes, okay? Overnight, this is what happened. Down here in Yemen, Saudi Arabia, they share a common border. The Saudi Arabians, they have been concerned about rebel forces, al-Qaeda forces in Yemen for years. Here's the Red Sea to the west, Gulf of Aden down here. Advance at one time, and we'll go in on this section of Yemen now, okay? Capital city of Sana'a. Over the past week alone, General, the Shia rebels have taken Sana'a. They've moved down to Taiz and then over to Edin. Edin, by the way, this port city where the USS Cole was blown up in October of 2000. Also, there's an air base here that the U.S. has been using for years now, going after al-Qaeda targets, people like Anwar al-Awlaki, who was operating out of Yemen as well before he was taken out by a drone. How significant is it now, General, that Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain have carried out strikes against the Shia in Yemen, sir?
Well, it's very significant because what truly is happening here is strategically, the balance of power and the political order as we know it in the Middle East is shifting, and it's shifting obviously in favor of Iran. These are Iranian-backed movement, the Houthis, taking over a country. There's an Iranian-backed movement, the Shia militia, gaining influence rather significantly in Iraq. Saudi Arabia, it's being done at the expense of Saudi Arabia, and in the case of Yemen, certainly it's also being done at the expense of the United States. The truth is, our military guys had to retreat out of that air base that's 30 or so miles from Edin. And why were they there? Because this is AQAP, who's planned multiple attacks against the United States, to include obviously the underwear bomber, and they were responsible for the Paris attacks. This is a serious security issue for the United States and the American people. We have now lost our capability to influence that.
Best bomb makers in the world. I think you would agree with that at the moment. Also, the other significant story from overnight, you mentioned Iran and the Shia-backed militia that are now operating inside of Iraq, okay? There were airstrikes carried out by the United States, advance at one time, north of Baghdad, about 90 miles in the town of Takip. About 1,000 ISIS fighters here, 30,000 Iraqis backed by some of the Shia militia. Sir, are we now on the brink of a regional war in the Middle East?
Well, there has been a spillover war, certainly, that's been taking place, as many of us had said would happen, coming from Syria and the social and political upheaval that took place there. The radical Islamists fallen in, and the fact that we did not back the moderate rebels, particularly when they had the momentum against Assad to topple the regime. We now have that spillover war. It's right in front of us. The issue here is the United States is providing airstrikes. Most of the forces on the ground are Iranian-backed Shia militia. There's also some Iraqi security forces and some Sunni tribes here. But I'm glad we're doing this, frankly, because we have got to blunt the influence of the Iranians in Iraq. And this is a step in that direction if we made this conditional, and I don't think we're going to talk about that. And by that I mean is that we're not going to continue to support this effort unless the Iranians step back.
General, we got to get back to some more breaking news here. Thank you for your time. This on a day, by the way, where the nuclear negotiations in Switzerland with Iran resume yet today. General, thank you. Jack Keane out of Washington.